Hello, listeners, creepers, dudes, and dudettes. Welcome to episode 16 of Grumpy X Sunshine. That's not 3 X's, but we do come with a parental advisory. I'm Storm, aka Grumpy, if you couldn't tell.
And I'm Lady, aka The Sunshine. Hello. It's our, what's this called? The Scary Stories in the Dark. We're not in the dark right now, but we could have been.
Could have been.
You turned on the light.
I did turn on the light.
Because I couldn't find my jewel.
Oh my god, where's my jewel?
Where's my jewel? Alright, this is all from r/ghosts, the subreddit on Reddit. If you couldn't tell, we love Reddit for the most part.
Yeah. Love our stories.
So this one is titled, My Personal Experience in My House with Several Events. U/that_department 6251. And as of today, this was posted 58 days ago. About 4 years ago, I had to stay in the spare bedroom. I rarely go in the room because I get such a weird feeling being in there and even in the hallway by the room. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw a woman in a white dress standing by the door watching me. I instantly turned over and closed my eyes. The next day, I tell my mom what I saw, and she tells me that my sister's boyfriend had previously stayed in that room and saw the same thing. I had no idea of this beforehand.
Creepy.
Very creepy. Another instance is, I was home alone during the day at the time. My room was upstairs next to the bathroom and that spare bedroom. So I was watching TV, and all of a sudden I hear a weird noise in the bathroom. I then go look to check, and all of the toilet paper was on the stand. All of the toilet paper that was on the stand was unrolled and laying on the floor. I chalked it up to maybe the air was on, and I rolled it all back up. But how strong is your hair?
Probably pretty strong.
All of your toilet paper.
Yeah.
Since then, I have moved down into the basement, and my room is right below the kitchen. Man, that scared you so bad you went into the fucking basement?
That's horrible.
My girlfriend can see ghosts and even figure out information from them. She has often described what they're wearing in their names, also what they were feeling.
I wish I could.
Same. When we were first dating...
On second thought, never mind. I don't wish I could.
When we were first dating, I hadn't told her any of these experiences that I had in the house. I told her to walk around the house and go into the spare bedroom and tell me what she sees. She said that she saw a woman in a white dress, but she described it in a dark way, not friendly. That's when I told her what me and my sister's boyfriend saw. We often stay here a lot when my parents go out of town, and that's when we hear things unexplainable. When I'm here by myself laying in my bed, this can be during the day and at night, I hear footsteps and even the sound of a chair being moved right above me, just going back and forth. And this has happened several different occasions, and it's always right above me. More recently, last week, me and my girlfriend stayed here while my parents were out of town. It was around 11:30 p.m. and we were watching a movie. All of a sudden, we hear this tapping right above us for 2 straight minutes. I have never heard this sound before in my house. Imagine you are tapping your fingers super fast. I personally couldn't even tap mine as fast. And then even 2 seconds of that. Okay. I couldn't tap mine as fast. And then every 2 seconds of that, a second finger would tap twice. And then another would follow constantly for 2 minutes. This tapping was so loud. Twice.
You have to do the 2.
Anyways. Constantly for 2 minutes. This tapping was so loud and I couldn't explain it. So last night we were watching another movie with my door open, and then my dog sits up, starts growling at something at the door. My girlfriend glances over and sees a dark outline of a figure and gets scared and turns over. She usually isn't scared of ghosts and often describes their clothes to me and everything.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
That'd be the reason I wouldn't want to see them.
Yeah, could you...
I see shadows of them. I've seen a couple, but I don't see them often, which I'm okay with.
He has one comment on his post.
Oh?
Just saying, wow, that's crazy about someone else's story.
Huh. Yeah. Well then. Next story is a ghost, in parentheses, maybe question mark, in parentheses, scared my baby and now I'm pissed.
Oh, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, same. This is r/ghosts by user stunning_task_2440. Okay. It is a personal encounter. Hello, fellow Reddit humans. I, 20 female, want to tell you a recent encounter I had with a possible entity that has really infuriated me as of the past 2 hours. As of the past 2 hours ago. I was in my roommate's room after having a good talk with them, and all of a sudden my son, 2 months old, made a scream so loud and so alarming. I've never ever heard him scream like that before. Quickly running into the room, I opened the door and saw he was looking in a specific direction with a terrified look on his face. I picked him up, soothed him, and tried to figure out what he had seen. I'm a very strong empath and a minor participant in witchcraft, so I could kind of pick up that the vibe was very off in the room. I took him back to my roommate's room with me so he could get away from whatever terrified him so badly. I've never felt so much worry and rage mixed together at this. I know some entities are dark and mean, but to scare my 2-month-old child so badly sent me into a full maternal rage. Girl, yes. I asked my lovely husband, 24 male, to hold our precious wee man while I went back to our room to rip this entity a new one. Go, mama, go.
Mm-hmm.
From my knowledge, if you acknowledge an entity's presence, they can hear you when you talk. So I told them they messed up with the wrong person and they messed with the wrong witch. I told them that I will do anything and everything to make sure that their existence is permanently terminated from this life and the afterlife. So tomorrow I plan on thoroughly cleansing my house and adding more protection stones and trinkets around my home. I will be sure to update on how the energy changes within the next few days. But what do you think this entity might be? So there is an update to this one. What do you think the entity might be?
What do I think the entity might be?
Yeah, before we get into the update, it says, what do you think the entity might be?
I don't know. Okay, listen. Just from... I can understand that something scared him.
Yeah.
But imagine it's just a ghost.
Yeah.
That was just trying to, like, peek over and look at the new little baby.
And
it just scared the baby. I mean, anything's gonna scare the baby. It's a random face popping up out of nowhere. It's probably gonna freak him out.
Yeah.
But just imagine if it was just a sweet little old lady ghost that was just like, I just want to see him. And it's an old lady dead face, and it scared the baby. And she came in fucking raging. And this... Because she said it just didn't feel right. Not that she had any...
Yeah.
Not that there was anything negative.
I think it's more like she was scared. Like, her baby was scared, and that scared her. And if it's your first child and you're a new mom...
I'm reading some of her comments, and I just want to say almost every single one of her comments are downvoted.
Her personal comments? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Every single one of them says negative something.
Well then. Update. I thoroughly cleansed my house yesterday, and it feels so much better. With the help of a psychic, I found out the entity wasn't mean or had any intention to scare my son. It was actually surprised that my son even saw him. While cleaning my house, I apologized to the entity for threatening it and said it was no longer welcome in my house because of scaring my son. The house feels calm and clearer now. I also managed to get some blessed rainwater and use that as well, which seemed to really help cleanse the energy. Thank you all for the advice, help, insults, laugh my ass off.
I mean, I get, like, you're upset that someone's, like, pissing off your baby, but if you went into the room and you were saying that you were a very, like, strong empath, in your opinion...
I don't think she says strong empath. I think she just says somewhat of an empath. Good talk, quickly run in. No, she does say very strong empath and a minor participant in witchcraft.
Yeah, I am a very strong empath and a minor participant in witchcraft, so I could kind of pick up the vibe that it was very off in my room.
I don't think she's a very strong empath. I think she's just minor empath.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, if it feels off in the room,
Mm-hmm.
does it feel off or does it feel bad?
Yeah.
Because anything being in the room is gonna make it feel off. But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
And like I pointed out, imagine if it was just a sweet old lady just trying to take a peek at the baby and it scared the baby.
That's pretty much exactly what it was too.
Yeah, in this case it was just a ghost. It was just a little ghost. He was just chilling.
Yeah.
And the baby just ended up seeing him.
Yeah.
And you come in there threatening him like that? Imagine if it was something not a ghost and something like a demon, and you came in there threatening them.
No, like I've been like, listen, you might have been able to be here with these last people, but you ain't gonna be here like that with me. So you keep this shit up, you gone. Fuck you. I will get rid of you. I will give you one more chance to correct yourself, and then I'm kicking your ass the fuck out.
In my opinion, I understand
she went in
why,
a little too strong.
But she definitely went in way too fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but if you claim to be a very strong empath, you should have been able to tell that this was not something malevolent.
Yeah. Personally, if something goes after my baby like that, I want everybody to understand Storm is a fucking psycho. I will capture it, and you will see who the real fucking demon is. Okay?
I don't know, I just feel like in this situation, she completely handled it way wrong.
Yeah, she went at it sideways, and she didn't need to. I think she's a very new practitioner. That seems...
And I'm sorry, you cannot get cocky like that, because what happens if that was a demon? That thing's gonna be gun-ho on now pissing you off.
Yeah.
You think you're really gonna it's like the power of Christ compels you. Does it really, Dave?
It's not that compelling.
It's not that compelling. Sorry.
No, maybe I just have a big ego, but I think I could fuck a demon up.
I know for a fact I cannot fuck a demon up. I have no ego when it comes to the spirit world at all, and I don't want any ego when it comes to the spirit world at all.
Not that it wouldn't be a struggle for me, don't get me wrong, but if you piss me off enough to where I feel like I need to, I have boiling rage inside of me that I am very good at concealing. You are not good at concealing yours.
If you piss me off enough, I'm gonna call Jay.
You're gonna break a beer bottle over somebody's head.
Jay's gonna come and do the scary witch things for me, because I trust that she knows enough to at least protect my house. But I'm not gonna be handling it.
I think I sent you a video of like this, there was this 4-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. And there was like this demon hand that came out from underneath the bed and snatched her underneath. And I said, either one of two things. Either one, that's my partner and they're getting cussed out later for trying to scare me like that. Or two, it's an actual problem and I need about 5 minutes to get my plan in action and the weekend off.
My experiences didn't realize they were ghosts until I lost 90% of my eyesight. By you /KAR weed ghost. Carweed. Okay. When I was 4 or 5, traveling cross country, I saw a beautiful, long, blonde-haired woman in a long-sleeved, long dress with a tiny flower print, standing in the middle of a flat golden plain with the wind blowing her hair and dress. And I knew she had died by a wildfire soon after. I still remember the image and thought later, maybe reincarnation memory. 9 years old, Air Force brat. We visited Ephesus, Turkey. There was a tunnel leading to the Colosseum grounds from the cages and prison cells below, and I saw a woman in a traditional biblical garb with a blue shawl over her hair, bent over with her right hand on the wall for support, blinking up into the bright sunlight. I had an overwhelming urge to touch the wall where her hand had been, Just my imagination? Years go by, and I am diagnosed with an incurable eye disease. My sister and I go on a road trip for historical sites while I still can, and then I knew this was a ghost energy. Shiloh National Cemetery Park. Walking around, I saw a cops? I saw something of trees with one Confederate marker among Union markers, and I wondered how he got there. Suddenly, in my mind's eye, I saw a very slim young man with dark hair stumble out of the dense brush and be confronted by the sight of Union men sitting around a fire. Imagination again? Later, my sister and I were standing at the dedication plaque podium, and my sister said how sad this place made her feel. Suddenly, I felt a sense of pride and said how proud that their sacrifice was being honored. Then felt joy and laughed and tried to shoulder bump the Confederate ghost. I knew, but could not see, standing beside me. Sight deteriorated fast. Facial recognition gone. It's a blurry world. By the way, I can only type on my phone close to my face. Black screen. White lettering. Sorry. Allen, Texas, standing outside grocery store waiting on my ride. I look up and not 2 feet from me is an older gentleman with a full head of gray hair and a bushy mustache, smiling and staring at me, not saying a word. At the time, I didn't wonder how I could see him so clearly. Minutes go by, silence. I'm wondering if he's just standing there judging me, my attire, etc. I turn my back on him and ignore him. Thought no more about it until 2 years later, living in Mobank, Texas. Again, outside waiting for my ride, he's there, 2 feet from me, silent and smiling at me, 75 miles distance from Allen. That's when I realized I can see him. And as I did in Allen, because I recognized him from Allen. Remember, facial recognition is gone. I can't even see myself in the mirror. That shocked me. I don't know him. I walked away. Now you're going to say I'm crazy or hallucinating. 4 years later, I live in Kentucky, and I visit an Amish store. As I'm waiting in line at the cash register, I see an Amish couple in traditional garb standing perfectly still, staring at me. I see her clearly with her bonnet and long dark green dress, slim with hard lines on her face, wrinkles. She barely comes to her husband's shoulder. I look at him and see his white shirt and red suspenders, but there's a black blob that covers his face and part of his shoulders. Okay, I think, blind spot for my eyesight, not wondering why I can see her so clearly. I turn to look at the cashier and I can see her plump, blonde, middle-aged with glasses smiling at me. I suddenly think she is connected to the couple. Then memory lapse, until I found myself with the receipt in hand saying, it will be okay, to a crying cashier who won't look up at me. Last experience was December 5th, 2023.
Wait. Till I found myself with a receipt. Memory lapse?
Yeah, he doesn't remember what happens after he sees the woman and thinks like, oh, they're connected. And then amnesia. He doesn't know what happened.
Well then, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. My last experience was December 5th, 2023. Weekend getaway with my sister and her daughter-in-law. Nashville, Tennessee, Broadway Street, bar hopping. I had slowed down drinking and had switched to water as we walked to Blake's place. Daughter-in-law was very drunk and got nose to nose with the bouncer. Suddenly, I felt such pride for the bouncer and could see him and daughter-in-law clearly. He stood there stoic and unresponsive to daughter-in-law's barrage of drunk BS till she gave up and moved on. He had a black stocking cap and heavy coat and gloves on, roundish face but not fat, small nose, thin lips. I went to the back of the dance floor and planted myself there so my sister would know where I was and listened and enjoyed the band with my water. To the right of me, I saw, as if in the spotlight, a tall blonde man in a red short-sleeved t-shirt with huge biceps standing there just staring at me, not drinking or moving to the music. As the blurry guys behind him were song after song, he just stood there watching me. I felt a little self-conscious. I am now 60, so what the hell? Eventually, my sister came to tell me that it was time to leave to get daughter-in-law to the hotel. Memory lapse. Not drunk. Had been on water. I don't remember anything until we were outside on the sidewalk when the bouncer came running out to me, grabbed my arm, and with a shocked expression on his face demanded, "What did you just say to me? What did you just say to me?" "I don't know," I sheepishly say. "Best band." And he stood back and watched as we moved on down the road. I believe Red T-shirt was a ghost connected to him and said something to him through me. But unlike Shiloh, but like the Amish store. I don't know what the message was. Or if I hadn't affected these two people the way I had, I would think I had hallucinations or a very vivid imagination. But seeing the stoic bouncer so shook up convinced me, and I am trying to find explanation/validation that I'm not crazy. This story is crazy.
It's wild. I wouldn't call it crazy.
This story is... I don't understand half of what's going on, I'm not gonna lie. And I understand what he sees. If he sees something, it's usually ghost related and, you know, whatever. But, like, I think it was a Confederate shit that kind of threw me off.
I think that one, he was just in a park and just ended up actually seeing something. He thinks he saw it in his mind's eye.
Yeah, he's
like very strong.
It's called Charles Bonnet syndrome.
Okay.
He said, he has a comment. He says, generally, the hallucinations tend to occur when the person is alone, quiet, and in a familiar environment. For example, when lying awake in bed. The two types of visual hallucination most common to Charles Bonnet syndrome include simple, such as patterns and lines. For example, a person may see brickwork images, netting, or mosaics. Complicated, such as seeing people, buildings, landscapes, or places. Complicated hallucinations are more likely to occur in people with severe vision loss. It sounds possible, but it's never when I'm in a familiar place and doesn't explain explain the way I felt at the Shiloh or the responses from the cashier and bouncer. I never see the places, patterns, brickwork, but I'll read more into it. Thank you.
Okay. Huh. I think he's seeing ghosts. I really do.
I mean, yeah, I do think he's seeing ghosts. I just...
Mostly considering how it affected other people.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is from r/ghosts, like all of them. It's from user International Rest 651, posted 2 months ago. It's titled, "The Ghost Was Really Into Miley Cyrus, I Guess." So it goes, "When I was younger, my mother and I moved around a lot. But we started off living with my mother's boyfriend at the time for a few years before moving into another house. And then the creepy apartment. It was a 3-story house, and the basement had many different vintage items, such as old duck shooter, game system that still worked, not sure what it was called, and an old popcorn machine, etc. There was also one of those old TVs from the 90s to 2000s that we had in a corner. One night, my mom's boyfriend and I were watching TV in the basement, before deciding to go see what my mom was doing upstairs. We walked upstairs, sat on the couch with my mom, when all of a sudden, Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus starts playing full volume on the old TV in the basement. My mom's boyfriend and I went downstairs to turn it off and discussed how weird it was considering we turned the TV off and only had the volume at 13. Not to mention, we weren't listening to Miley Cyrus. We were watching a show. But it's old, right? Then we went back upstairs and sat down with my mom. A few minutes later, started hearing Wrecking Ball playing on the TV, with the volume slowly increasing until it hit 100 again. I made her boyfriend turn it off alone as I was now scared. Never happened again, and there's been no other incidents with the TV before or since."
If I was a ghost, I'd do that type of shit. I came in like a wrecking ball. I would love to do that type of shit. That would be the type of ghost I would be.
Yeah. Just like kind of dumb shit.
Listen, when I die, if I die young, bury me in sand. Anyways, if I die young,
Okay.
I'm gonna come over to your house.
Okay.
I'm gonna tussle with your ghost.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start haunting you.
Okay.
I'm gonna start playing some weird fucking shit on your TV.
Just 2 things. Don't watch me wipe, and please don't watch while I have sex. That's it.
Can't promise the second one. I'm not gonna promise it, because what happens if, like, I just decide to pop over and you're in the middle of fucking banging? I'm gonna see how you do it a little bit, and then I'll leave.
God.
I won't, like, sit there and watch you.
Okay.
Like, I'll look a little bit, and then I'll
leave.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
I'll appreciate you for a minute, and then
oh my god. Okay.
You're hot. I don't know what you want from me.
I am pretty warm right now. Actually, we're in a very warm room.
Oh yeah, my office is a hellhole. Oh man, now you're making me talk about Ouija boards? Oh my god.
Dude, I think Ouija boards are funny.
Ouija boards?
Like, to me, they're funny. Me and Blue had a wonderful experience with a Ouija board. I'd be willing to do it again.
I've never fucked with the Ouija board and never plan to. I am much too open of a person to do that shit.
Yeah, no, I would not suggest you doing it.
Okay.
I could do it again. Okay.
Homemade Ouija board experience. I'm from UK. U/Dizzy-Nebula25. This is something that happened to me around 2017, but I still think about quite often. I couldn't explain it and simply decided it was enough proof for me to not look further into it. However, having read a lot of stories from this group, I'd like to get other people's opinions on my experience. I live in the UK, and around this time, I'd taken quite an interest in the paranormal. Me and a couple of friends used to research and travel to a few local, supposedly haunted sites in search of proof of the paranormal. One night, while drinking and researching our next haunted location online, one of our friends suggested we attempt a Ouija board. This is not something I've ever owned or wanted to own, so we made a very, very basic one out of cardboard. I was very skeptical about this, as I'd heard many bad stories, but like everything involving the paranormal, you're never a true believer until you see it for yourself.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. We started the board by asking the standard questions. If there was a spirit present, what's your name, show us a sign, etc.
Quick little side note about Ouija boards. When you say stuff like that, like, hey, is there a spirit here? Always say of light and love.
I've heard you're never supposed to ask open questions. Like open-ended questions. So you're always supposed to ask, like, very straight to the point, specific questions. And if you open the questions, you open yourself. That was from my understanding.
You have to be specific.
I would never touch a Ouija board unless my sister Jay was around.
Okay.
Because she has her own, shit. But I feel very comfortable within her protections.
I was like, maybe we can do one with Jay, and we'll get the Ouija boards. We'll get our masks together and we'll just do some ghost hunting with Jay. Okay. If they're up for it.
I'm sure Jay would absolutely love it.
Does Jay listen?
Yeah, kind of.
I was gonna say probably not.
She's got her own.
Hey, Jay.
I'm pretty sure she's starting a new project.
Ooh, we love a new project.
Which, I mean, we received no replies, and that left us all feeling a lot more lighthearted about what we were doing. Having basically given up hope on any truth behind the Ouija board, one of my friends started to antagonize the spirit by saying, "Don't be a pussy. If you were real, you would show us a sign," and other things like that. Less than 30 seconds later, both of the light bulbs in the room we were in popped together at the same time, leaving us in darkness. Ooh. Safe to say, I've never left a room so quickly before.
Pissed that motherfucker off.
It's like phasmophobia. There was a fire bin burning in my back garden, which we quickly tossed the board into and carried on with our night, trying to forget the experience. The next day, I looked into the bin and it was still there. It was only slightly burned on the edges. Please remember, we made this out of cardboard and it was thrown into a roaring fire. I emptied the remains into a sack and disposed of them at my local tip. What's a tip?
I don't know. I'm assuming wherever you throw rubbish.
Okay. Why did you say rubbish?
Because they're from UK.
That was terrible. Oh, that's why I don't fuck with Ouija boards. I don't know. I'm also very specific about who I do it with. Like, I don't think you and Blue would, like, fuck me over with it, but I also, like...
Blue
I feel safe with Jay.
Blue got bored with it.
Yeah.
Blue got bored with it. Like, took her hand off the planchette to start eating her ice cream at Cold Stone. Because we were at a Tim Hortons.
Oh!
Doing it in the lobby of a Tim Hortons.
She didn't say goodbye?
No.
Ooh.
She took one hand off of it, kept the other one on.
I would fight.
I looked at her and went, Blue, what are you doing? Jesus. And she's sitting there with a hand with a mouthful of ice cream, just going,
No, I mean, I don't mind Ouija boards. I just feel like, okay, for example, with the pendulum, I have full control.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through me to
Yeah.
access this. With a Ouija board, all over the place.
Yeah.
Anything can get in. Anything can talk to you. There's no sizing it out. There's nothing of that.
I think I like the scrying Ouija board more than I like the regular Ouija board.
What do you mean the scrying?
So a scrying Ouija board is essentially, which I may have the name wrong, okay? But it's essentially, you get a piece of paper, a big piece of paper,
mm-hmm.
and a planchette, and this planchette has a hole in it.
That you put a pen through?
Yep.
And then, oh yeah, that's all by intuition and everything. You just move where you think it's supposed to move.
Not necessarily. It's supposed to move, too.
No. The way, Chris and Sam and Colby and all of them explained
mm-hmm.
it, it's fully intuition. If you think it's supposed to move, you move it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's supposed to be the ghost is moving through you.
See, and at that point, why not just do scrying instead?
Because it's everyone's energy, so everyone can manipulate it so that not one person can decide to draw a shape and fuck it up.
You know, it'd be interesting. When we eventually go ghost hunting, we'll bring a sketchbook. We'll bring a blindfold. You put a blindfold on me. I keep hitting
Stop
your
touching my toes.
I don't mean to. It's just your toes are literally right there, and I've been swinging for so long that it's.
Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, our next story is by user Yapin Harmer.
Oh, it's like Oppenheimer, but it's Yappenheimer.
Oh, okay. Yappinheimer. Yappenheimer. 2 months ago posted r/ghost. Titled, Something Really Strange Happened to Me and I'm Looking for Explanations. Goes, so first of all, I would like to point out nothing strange or paranormal had ever happened in my house before. Been living here for 18 years, since I was born. Always believed in ghosts and spirits, but I never suspected or thought my house was haunted until now. So basically, last weekend, my family and I went over to on a short road trip to go visit a family member. We will come back the same day. When we were already in the car, ready to go, I noticed I left my AirPods in my room. Quickly ran inside to get them. I was the last person inside the house, as everyone else was already inside the car. Remember this.
So he was the last one in the house, everyone else was in the car. He goes back in to grab his AirPod.
Yep. When we came back home that night, I was the first person to enter the house and went directly to my room. First thing I noticed was a large yellow package in my bed. I was extremely confused because I hadn't remembered putting it there and no one else was home, so I was wondering who the fuck put it there. I opened the file up and it was my mom's, who had died of cancer 15 years ago. MRI scans. Always knew that the big package was there, but I never knew what it was until now. Then I went to go show my parents, dad and stepmom. They were still going in and out of the house, getting the stuff out of the car. My dad was extremely confused. Not because I took them out, he was more confused on how I got that package out so quickly since we'd barely gotten home. To add more context, that large yellow package was at the very bottom of the closet, so in order to get it out, you would have had to remove a lot of things, including heavy boxes. I never got the package out, and it wasn't there when I left and no one was at home. So the only, quote, realistic explanation is that someone broke into the house, knew where the old folder was at, took all the stuff above it out, put the folder in my bed, then put everything back in the closet exactly how it was. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why would somebody do that? So right now, I'm thinking something paranormal happened there, but why? Is it a ghost trying to tell us something? Could someone explain, did my mom come to visit, and why would she show us that?
Did you read the comments?
No.
Someone said I would take a closer look at the files to see if there's anything of significance that you might have missed. Something similar happened in my home, and it seemed intentional. The person who had passed away wanted the recipient to find it. His response was, "It's nothing but her MRI scans. I did go through them all." Someone else said, "I am so sorry to even suggest this, but please don't take it the wrong way. But if we believe it was your mom or another spirit who left the package with the MRI scans in your room, maybe the message is for you to get checked out for the same type of cancer."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I'm not going to lie, I did think this too. My dad and stepmom and other family members have always told me to take care of myself since I am more susceptible to cancer since my mom had it. I do eat well and I am pretty skinny, but you are right, it could be a sign." And that's all he ever comments about on this.
Yeah, probably go get checked out.
That's so sad.
I'm really glad that commenter commented that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they get checked out. Yeah.
All right, next
I think
one.
I would have thought
sorry.
that... You're good. I think I would have thought that eventually, but it's not the first thing that comes to mind. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't be the first thing I would expect either. Strange occurrences tonight after I asked the universe for a sign to move.
I think that's a sign to move.
u/fearless_border. So, for brevity, it seems like the last 3 years have been a personal disaster. Between just feeling out of place and health issues happening to the people that are closest to me. My dad passed away in February of 2023, and my grandma passed away on Thanksgiving of 2018. I'm a pretty intuitive person, and recent changes with my job and just having a feeling that I need to move away from my hometown where I'm currently living has really led me to questioning a move to pursue a music career.
Which, by the way, you don't have to move to pursue music. You can do that from home, wherever you are. You can do a lot of things.
True. My grandma was my rock in this world and wanted me to go for it when she was still alive, and my dad moved and pretty much never looked back. He is buried in my hometown now after not having been back for almost 20 years. I was out driving after work and internally asked the universe for a sign. The next song that came on from my playlist in my car was "Now is the Time to Leave." I thought that was ironic and kept driving to relax. I parked out in the country and was stargazing when a magpie landed right in front of my car. I've always sworn that magpies are my grandma sending me a message and making her presence known, because my grandma always called us magpies since we were always laughing and making noise. I decided to drive out to the cemetery where her and my dad are buried next to each other, since it reminded me of her. We have a little solar-powered angel lights for both of them. The wind had knocked my dad's over, so I got out and put it back together. It wasn't working when I walked back to my car, and I thought maybe it would after the sun gets on the solar panel tomorrow. I didn't think too much about it. I sat in my car listening to music and looked up signs that you should move on the internet. Before I'm able to read too much into it, the interior lights on my car flash on, and once I look up, my dad's angel lights started working. It felt like he was here with me, so I just said, "Hi, Dad." I started looking up at the stars, and the lights did it again in my car. Then the empty can in my cup holder moved by itself. So I told him and my grandma to keep sending signs to me in ways I can't ignore. I think it might be time to move, LOL. That was hard to read, but that was very sweet.
Yeah, it was very sweet. And if you feel like you need to move, do it.
Yeah, it shouldn't take that many signs for you to finally get the hint, I'm not gonna lie.
I will say, look at your astrophotography chart. Astrocartography.
Cartography.
Cartography. It's essentially you take it the time that you were born and you lay it over a map of the world. And you can see where like your career line is, your love line, stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, our next story is from Huff Puff 92. I bet you're a Huffle, aren't you? Little Hufflepuffle.
A Hufflepuffle?
A Hufflepuffle. Huffle and puffin' it. So Huff Puff 92 is their stories titled Ghosts, ? Thoughts, ? Why so many characters, ?
Oh, she also posted about demons.
Well then. So Huff Puff 92 goes on to say, I have a 5-year-old autistic son. Last night, 10 to 15 minutes after I put him in his room for bed, he started crying hysterically and screaming. When I went in to check on him, he just stared at the ceiling saying he's scared and there's a monster. I had him point to where he was seeing it, and he pointed to the one spot on the ceiling and said, big scary black monster. We've lived here since he was 6 months old, and he's literally never talked about monsters before. After he pointed it out, we told the monster to leave, and it wasn't welcome. He wouldn't leave my sight after it happened. I'm guessing that's supposed to be side. I took him to the bathroom after he went, and I was going. He went into mine and my husband's room, and he got all excited and said, Daddy, and then kept talking. Husband is out in the backyard with the dogs. Husband comes in, and I tell him about it, and son has him beat up the monster. Then we went and laid in our bed. Periodically, he'd cry and point out the hallway and say the monster was back. I was able to calm him down by telling him monsters don't like the light, so we're fine. We sleep with the hall light on. I've seen way too many paranormal activity movies, so I'm freaking the F out. Husband tells me that it's fine because the dog would be going nuts if something was actually in the house. But I swear I woke up 3 times in the middle of the night to something growling in my ear. So close that my ear literally vibrated. So my question is, can dogs always sense things? Because I'm about ready to sell the house. 2 emojis there. Going across...
She's going to
cross post, hopefully get more feedback.
She posted in r/demons the same exact thing.
Okay. The fact that you heard growling in your ear is absolutely fucking terrifying.
So in the r/demons, she said, someone commented, children have an underdeveloped eyesight, and in general, how old is this child?
5 and autistic.
In general, people's ability to see out of the corner of their eye or in darkness is pretty awful. There's no way to treat this as anything different than a childish fantasies. She commented, hoping that's all it is. I just remember when I was young, I was having full-on conversations under the stairs in a different house with my dead grandpa. So I do believe in ghosts and stuff, but I also know that I've seen way too many scary movies. We used to have a dog that would randomly get aggressive, barking and growling, hackles raised at some corners, but nothing ever happened. And those are the only other experiences she's had in this house.
So wait, her dog has occasionally started growling?
A previous dog.
Previous dog. Okay, so not this dog.
No. We used to have a dog that would randomly get aggressive, barking, growling, hackles. Hackles raised at some corners, but nothing ever happened. And then in her... Sorry.
You're good.
On the r/ghosts, she said, I think kids and animals can definitely see things. I just wasn't sure if animals always notice it, lol. But when I was young, she said, I remember talking under the stairs. Someone said, quick answer is yes, dogs can sense things. But like some humans, some dogs are just not as in tune as others. For example, my cockapoo and my parents' pug regularly interact with the spirits in my house. But my parents' Shih Tzu hasn't so much as wagged his tail at the ghost. She said, this is what I was wondering, so thank you. I was just wondering if our dog either doesn't notice it or just doesn't care. Or that I've just seen too many scary movies. But she doesn't really comment much back on the ghosts
Okay.
subreddit. But that is, I mean, that's creepy if you're hearing growling in your ears and shit. Like, obviously.
Which, if you're waking up 3 times, it could just be like your son put this idea into your head, and you might also have this overactive imagination that. What?
I just read your weird thought of the week.
You're welcome. And you could also have like this overactive imagination where like when you're dreaming, it wakes you up to that. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that could be a reason.
3 times.
You'd be surprised how many nightmares I have that are recurring.
Yeah, but nightmares are also, in my opinion, some type of communication from something. Subconscious or not, whether it's your own body saying something to you or...
Well, that's the thing. Could be subconsciously you're worried about your child seeing this figure, and you woke up 3 times in the middle of the night, still worried about it. And so it...
But she specifically says her ear vibrates. So close my ear vibrates. Yeah. That's what throws me off.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've wet the bed because I thought I found a toilet and my body just released the pee. Yeah. Like I found a toilet in my dream and I just peed myself.
I've had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah. But it's not great.
Like I feel like in this sense, it's something that felt so close that it vibrated her ear. That sounds a little more than just...
I've felt stuff in my dreams.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think... Oh, no, that's a lie. When I've had my pregnancy dreams, whoa. I can feel the baby kicking. I've never felt quickening before, but I felt quickening.
Okay.
That's the term. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know. It took me a second to realize what that meant. Yeah.
For anyone else that doesn't know, the term quickening is used when the mom can feel the fetus moving. That's what quickening is. So that's why when you're watching like Queen Charlotte or something, you're not allowed to announce the pregnancy until the quickening happens. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, that's how they can tell how far along you are, is if you can feel the baby moving.
Okay.
Before. Obviously now it's a lot more advanced.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Okay.
Go ahead with your weird thought.
Our weird thought of the week is that painkillers are the mute notification for the body.
Which, you're not wrong. You were absolutely not wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't like that. It makes me feel
You're
weird.
not supposed to like it. It's supposed to make you feel weird. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Be kind. Love yourselves. Like, subscribe, share. You know, do the whole works.
You took mine.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry.
We're still getting used to this new outro. I'll just repeat you then. Like, subscribe, and share. You know, if you liked it or whatever. And maybe hydrate, you little creeps. Bye, bitches.
We're never on time for that. It's once in a blue moon that we get to be on time with that.
That's okay.
Fine.